Yo, what up, y'all? I'm back with another video, and I've had a change of heart. I don't believe we can blame just one gender for what is going on in society today. We cannot blame just one gender for what is going on in the dating market today. We cannot blame just one gender for the lack of marriages or even the lack of births. Yes, you heard me right. There is a lack of marriage and births in the United States, and you cannot blame one gender. It is all of our faults. Ladies, it's your fault. Gentlemen, it's your fault too, and especially your fault. I'm going to tell you why we have to put the blame on 100% of the men in this country. It is because we do not have any more leaders. Yeah, where's the leaders at? We don't have any more leaders. We don't have anyone to tell us and steer us in the right directions when we're headed in the wrong directions. We don't have anyone to stand up and fight for the kids, to stand up and fight for the women. You know the saying, the children and the women are always the first off of the ship, and the men stay to sink with the ship. Well, guess what? The men nowadays, they are trying to get off the ship first. Ladies, y'all in trouble. They're not letting the children and the women off first. They are trying to run off of the ship first. They are not trying to sink. That's how selfish a lot of men have become. And it is only because they are now starting to act like the women. They are now starting to act feminine. Yes, a lot of men are starting to act feminine. And I will say that to anyone's face who does not agree, because it is true. And a lot of women are starting to act like the men. See, ladies, you are starting to act like the men you want to date. That is why so many women are single, because you're dating yourself. And what's the first thing you will say? I'm fine being by myself. I'm fine being single. I'm fine dating myself. So you sit down with a glass of wine every night. You sip it to yourself. Watch your favorite show, go to bed alone, wake up in the morning, go to work, come home and do the very same thing again for the next 10, 15, 20 years by yourself. Because you are happy being by yourself. You have become the man that you want to date. That is why you chase your career. That is why you chase your education. That is why you push to be independent. That is why you say you can do everything by yourself. That is why you say you're fine by yourself, because you have become the man that you want to date. You want a man that's going to lead. Well, guess what? You are now the leader of what? Of yourself. No relationship. You're not leading anyone but yourself. You're not leading anything but yourself. You're not leading a relationship, because no man wants to be with you since you exhibit the traits of another man. So yes, you're the leader now. What else do you want from a man? You want a man that is hardworking. Well, you work hard enough for the both of us. So what do I need to provide for you for when all you do is work? You work 24/7. You are buried in your career. That is all you talk about. When you meet a man, you lead with your career. It is all about your career and how much money you make. Women are starting to brag about how much money they make. Women are starting to brag about what they can buy. Women are now starting to show off their money when men do not care. We do not care how much money you make. Why? Because it benefits us in no shape, form, or fashion. You are not going to share the wealth with us. We share the wealth with you, but you do not share your wealth with us. So why do we care? Why do we care about how much money you make? But you seem to lead with how much money you make and where you are in your career. So yes, you have become the man that you want to date. What else do you want in a man? You want a man that is going to plan out dates. Well, you're planning out dates before you even meet the man, before the man even courts you or says, yes, he will meet you, he will go out with you. So now you are planning the date, you are leading the relationship, and you are making more money than the man that you are with. So what does the man need with you then? He becomes a trophy husband. Or we can call him a trophy wife, because let's be real, he is now the feminine one in the relationship and you are the man. You are the masculine one in the relationship. So now when you claim that you want a man to do this, that, and another, you are already doing it for yourself. So what do you need a man for? Do you see what I'm saying? And fellas, gentlemen, I have to know, I have to ask, why is it some of y'all are 21, 22, 28, 30, 35, still living at home with your mother? And I can't believe that your mother even allows you to stay at home with her at that age, when you should be gone on your own. You should be exploring the world. You should be conquering the world. You should be on an adventure somewhere, but instead you are still at your mother's house. Matter of fact, you're sitting on her couch right now playing video games. That's exactly what you're doing. And then you talk about you want a wife. And then you're talking about you want a bad chick. Where is she going to come from? What magical stone are you going to rub? What genie is going to come out of a lamp and grant you 3 wishes, and one of them is going to be a wife? Where do you get this from? You don't want to work because you're lazy. Let's be real. That's the reason why you're still at your mother's house. You don't want the responsibilities. It's too much responsibilities to pay bills by yourself. So you would rather be with your mother. You would rather be a burden to the woman who gave birth to you and raised you. You would rather be a burden to the woman who already has her own bills. She's trying to create her own life. She's trying to live her own life. You're one of the reasons why she's lonely, why she doesn't have a man. Because how can she have a man when her grown-ass son is still in the house with her? Yes, I'm talking to you. If this applies to you, I am talking exactly to you. And I'm only saying this because I want you to do better. I want you to get up off that couch. I want you to get out of your mother's house. I want you to go get that job that you've been meaning to get, because we all know that you tell her you fill out job applications every morning or every week, when in actuality you really don't. You leave the house every morning, go by Starbucks, spend about 10-15 minutes driving around, and then you come back home and tell her that you've been looking for a job, when we know that you haven't, because you're comfortable. You are happy where you're at. So how are you supposed to become a husband? How are you supposed to become a woman's protector, a leader? Give her any guidance when you lack all of that yourself, when you are still looking for your mother to guide you, when you are still looking for your mother to lead you and pay all of your bills? She's still paying bills for you. You follow her around wherever she goes. When she moves from one house to another, you follow her. And some of y'all even have your girlfriends living in her house. Some of y'all even have your kids living in your mother's house. You don't have a home of your own. What kind of mess is that? And you're supposed to be a leader for the woman who is following you? Yes, the one who's living in your mother's house with you, the one who is following you. I want her to know how foolish she is. And I want her to know that she will never prosper, ever prosper. Why? Because you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be leading her. So if you don't prosper, guess what? She will never prosper. And how can you prosper sitting on your mother's couch? How can you prosper laying on your mother's couch every day, playing video games, eating up all her food, and watching TV? You can't, right? So she will never prosper because she does not have the proper leadership, which is what you were supposed to learn growing up. But you couldn't learn that. Why? Because you did not have a man to teach that to you. And now you're doing the same thing to your kids. What do you think your son is doing? Your son is watching you. Yes, kids emulate what they see, especially when it comes to their role models. You are supposed to be your son's role model. But what do they see? You laying on the couch every day. As they go to school, you're still laying on the couch. When they come home from school, you're still laying on the couch. You're not doing anything with your life. So now your kids are going to grow up the same exact way. And your daughter, she is going to think, she's going to believe that a man should do exactly what you're doing, because you are the perfect example for your kids. You are their first example of how a man should be. So yes, whatever you're doing, your son is going to see this and he's going to emulate it. Whatever you are doing, your daughter is going to see this and she is going to believe that the man she ends up with is supposed to be the same way. So now your daughter grows up believing that she should be with a bum, a man who does not create any type of wealth, a man who does not conquer life, a man who does not want anything, a man who lacks drive, a man who who lacks discipline. This is what she is going to fall for. Anything he tells her, she's going to fall for it because she never saw any type of male leadership growing up. You were never any type of leader. You stayed with your mother. So she is going to end up most likely in the same predicament as you if she doesn't become what? The man that she wants to be with. Do you see how the cycle goes? And it goes on and on. So now she becomes the man that she wants to be with because she does not want to be with a man like you. That's a smart woman, but she needs to look for a man who has all the qualities and the traits she is looking for. But she doesn't because she is so scared of ending up with a man like you. Yes, this is what you are creating. This is what we are breeding. In 2025, this is what we are creating in this world. This is where we're at. So your son is a bum and your daughter, she's by herself because she doesn't want to date a bum. She does not want to be with a man like you. And if she is, then guess what? She is probably at her man's house. Or no, not even her man's house. She's at her man's mother's house doing the same exact thing that you did with her mother. And you wonder why her mother left you. You wonder why she's no longer with you. But it's too late for her because she has wasted so much time of her life following you around, following someone who lacks the leadership skills, following the man who doesn't have any values, dreams, or goals in life. She's wasted all of her life. So she becomes what? One of those ladies that dies alone. And your daughter becomes what? One of those ladies that dies alone because she cannot find the man that she is looking for. And if she found that man, guess what? He is a bum and a loser like you. And your son becomes what? A loser and a bum like you. And he's probably staying on your couch right now. So we need to do better as a society and as a people. We need to start teaching our kids how to be men and how to be women. We need to start teaching them their roles. We need to go back to teaching these kids that everyone has a role to play. Each gender has a role to play. And when they play their roles and we come together, that is how you create family. That is how you create a happy environment to raise kids. And if we don't do that, then guess what? We're in trouble. And looking at how things are right now, we're already in trouble. Get off your mama's couch, go out there and conquer the world. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.